There are whispers of a program so secret, so buried beneath layers of disinformation, that even its name seems plucked from a nightmare. Not MK Ultra, not CIA Black Ops. No, this is something far darker. Survivors call it Project MONARCH, and if their stories are true, then somewhere in the shadowy corners of government and elite power, trauma was not just a byproduct of control. It was the very tool of creation. What they created was obedience, and sometimes something much worse. This is not just a conspiracy theory. This is a tapestry of trauma, power, and manipulation that spans decades, continents, and generations. It lives not in official documents, but in whispers, in strange behavior of celebrities, in repeated symbols, in unexplainable gaps in memory. Welcome to the rabbit hole of Project MONARCH. To understand Project MONARCH, we must trace its roots, not just to the Cold War, but to the dark science of Nazi Germany. During World War II, SS doctors experimented on prisoners in concentration camps to explore trauma-based conditioning. Some of these experiments bordered on the supernatural, testing dissociation, obedience under torture, and even remote viewing. After the war, through Operation Paperclip, dozens of Nazi scientists were brought to America under sanitized identities. Their research helped birth MK Ultra, the CIA's infamous mind control program. MK Ultra explored psychedelics, sensory deprivation, electroshock, and hypnosis. But within that sprawling black operation, certain sub-projects were never officially documented. That is where Monarch is said to reside, a rogue offspring born in the shadows. Project Monarch, unlike MK Ultra, was never declassified. It was never acknowledged in congressional hearings. It exists only in survivor testimonies and circumstantial evidence. But what they describe is a methodology far more targeted, occult, and enduring. Trauma wasn't just an unfortunate consequence of the process, it was the foundation. The monarch butterfly is not a random image. Its transformation from caterpillar to chrysalis to adult is symbolic. In Project MONARCH, victims are said to be broken down through extreme trauma until their personalities fragment. From these ruins, new identities are shaped by handlers. These alters can be switched on and off like programs in a machine. The butterfly, in this context, represents metamorphosis. But in Monarch, it is a metamorphosis through violence. The bright, colorful symbol masks the horror of what lies beneath. A mind shattered, a soul manipulated. Survivor accounts consistently reference horrific abuse used to create dissociation. Children, often born into generational trauma, are subjected to psychological torture, forced to compartmentalize their pain to survive. These compartments become alternate personalities, known as alters. Each alter is programmed with a function. Some are sexual operatives, some assassins, others couriers trained to hold classified data in mnemonic codes. The main personality, or host, is unaware of the others. The system becomes a human hard drive, partitioned, programmable, and ultimately controllable. Handlers are the programmers. They implant the trauma, shape the alters, and teach obedience. Survivors describe them as government agents, intelligence operatives, sometimes even family members. They use hypnosis, drugs, electroshock, and most disturbingly, symbolism. Trigger codes are embedded in media, phrases, and visual cues. A certain song, a phrase like "time to shine," or a flashing light pattern might be enough to switch alters. Some victims are triggered into action without conscious awareness. Others are simply immobilized, paralyzed by fear or confusion. Unlike standard MK Ultra programming, Monarch appears to involve heavy ritual abuse. Victims report ceremonies involving pentagrams, black robes, chanting, and blood rituals. These ceremonies are said to be both symbolic and functional, breaking the will and inviting possession. Entities are invoked. Whether you see this as psychological theater or actual spiritual invocation, the intent remains the same. Destroy the original identity and replace it with programmable fragments. Some survivors insist they have seen demonic possession. Others believe it is all psychological conditioning, masked in occult theatrics. Perhaps the most disturbing extension of Project Monarch is the idea that pop culture is its playground. Monarch symbolism, like butterflies, shattered mirrors, duality patterns, and cages, is rampant in music videos, fashion shoots, and award shows. Artists like Britney Spears, Kanye West, Lady Gaga, and others have all displayed behavior that conspiracy theorists point to as signs of breakdowns in programming. The shaving of heads, speaking in different voices, sudden disappearances, and breakdowns on live TV are interpreted as signs of altars malfunctioning. Some believe entire personas are constructed for celebrities or controlled not just for entertainment but for political influence and ritual display. Stage performances double as rituals. Songs become vehicles for trigger codes. Kathy O'Brien's book, Transformation of America, alleges she was programmed under Project Monarch. She describes systematic abuse, rape, and trafficking to politicians, including former presidents. Bryce Taylor makes similar claims, suggesting she was groomed to be a sex slave to the elite. While critics point out a lack of concrete evidence, the consistency in themes, names, and methods across multiple testimonies is chilling. These people are not seeking fame. They are often ostracized, ridiculed, and silenced. Some reports place Monarch programming in deep underground military bases, such as those alleged to exist under Denver International Airport or in the deserts of Nevada. These locations are said to be equipped with labs, training rooms, ritual chambers, and living quarters for victims. Others speak of trauma being inflicted in mobile units, secret rooms in Hollywood mansions, or hidden wings of psychiatric hospitals. Wherever it happens, the goal is the same: complete psychological ownership. Who benefits from Monarch? The theories suggest a terrifying answer: those in control. Politicians, corporate titans, media moguls, and secret societies are often named. Mind-controlled operatives are said to be used for espionage, sexual blackmail, human trafficking, and assassination. Some say global policy decisions are influenced by those under control. Others suggest victims are groomed to be sleeper agents, activated at key moments for false flags, cover-ups, or influence operations. If Monarch exists, it is not just about individual control. It is about population conditioning. Mass trauma such as 9/11s, pandemics, and economic collapse creates a fertile ground for programming. Symbolism normalizes the system. Idea desensitizes. Ritual becomes entertainment. In this theory, humanity is being reshaped through trauma, through fear, through the endless repetition of coded messages. The butterfly is no longer just a symbol. It is a warning. MK Ultra ended on paper. But Project Monarch may never have stopped. It may have gone deeper, more sophisticated, more invisible. The techniques evolved. The handlers learned. The media landscape became a perfect delivery mechanism. Today, Monarch may operate in Silicon Valley, in virtual reality labs, in AI development. Programming may no longer require trauma. Just data, just dopamine. A new kind of obedience is being coded, not through torture, through convenience. Project Monarch is real. It challenges everything we believe about free will, memory, and identity. The idea that a child could be turned into a puppet, their strings pulled by unseen masters, is terrifying enough. But even more terrifying is this: what if some of those puppets became the masters? What if we are watching them on our screens every day?